Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to bring you this special bulletin. Video games are bad. There's so little to no feedback, and it's all your fault. As gamers, because you just don't know how to give proper feedback. At least that's the case when, according to Fallout creator Tim Kane, made a little video claiming video game devs have no idea what gamers want, mostly because they don't listen, then blames gamers for providing bad feedback. I listened to his video for a good bit, and there's a lot of points, good points, bad points, and what I see as lost the plot, unable to read the room, or improperly reading the comment section. And I'll say this, when you have such a massive platform, whether it is YouTube or Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, Elon Musk's social media, you will have hundreds of thousands, upwards into the millions and tens of millions of comments over and over and over and over again. And a good bit of them are going to be nonsensical. I don't like this, with absolutely no reason, no critique, no context whatsoever. So I can agree with him on this part. But to deny that gamers have been quite vocal about what they do want, the things that they do like in video games, with thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of videos across YouTube describing the things that they like and don't like in one particular game, with context, with comparison, to deny that is, well, disingenuous to be as kind as possible. Tim Kane, one of the creators of Fallout, I've watched quite a few of his videos. I love the Fallout series, well, the first couple, recently declared that video game developers and studios have no clue what gamers want, mostly because they're too busy sniffing their own farts, patting themselves on the back for utter trash, and not listening to any sort of criticism whatsoever, actual constructive criticism, and classifying that as nothing more than toxic misogynist man babies over and over again, slinging the insults left and right, and celebrating when a particular South African doesn't like their game. Celebrating that sort of nonsense. If you know, you know. Then proceeds to blame gamers for providing bad feedback. In a recent upload to his YouTube channel, I will share the link to the video as well as this Fandom Pulse article, because, John F. Trent on this one, goes through the particular points that, he feels are more important than others, but I will make a link to the video and the article itself. You can go check it out for yourself. Check the context for yourself. Kane stated, quote, "I want to give you the raw, unfiltered response to, do devs know what gamers want?" And here it is. No, we don't know what you want. That's because you're not listening. You're too worried. You're unable to filter out the nonsense. And unfortunately, on social media, across all social media platforms, you must have the ability to filter out the nonsense. You're going to have people coming in there, whether they are trolls, whether they are just frustrated and want to give single sentence answers. I don't like this. I don't like it because it's woke, because it's DEI, because Sweet Baby Inc. was involved. And they stop at that and they go about their business, off to the next video to criticize. But there's others out there, like I said at the beginning, countless videos, 30-minute, hour-long, some 6-hour live streams, going through point by point, step by step, long paragraph responses in the comment section of videos of people itemizing, categorizing, contextualizing. That's 3, right? I always do that. Exactly what they like, what they don't like, why they like it, and why they don't like it. To sit here and say that devs don't know, that's a dev problem, not a gamer's problem. We're quite, if you haven't noticed as of late, gamers are very vocal. As for why he believes that game developers do not know what gamers want because they're not listening, he elaborated, quote, "Here's the longer answer, and it's all kind of can be summed up as because you don't know either. Oh, you pretentious twat." And I'm going to call you a pretentious twat because trying to tell people that they don't know what they want, you're telling me I don't know what I want in a video game? I always sit around and say, apparently it's going to be my first piece of merchandise should I ever get to that point, which is never. Make it fun first. Well, what's your definition of fun? Interesting. Make a compelling story. Write an interesting character that makes sense. Well, what does that mean? Well, I don't know what it means, but you're the writer, you're the developer, you're the one with the experience. I only know I can give examples of this type of characters that I like, the type of worlds that I like. I always give Cyberpunk 2077 as an example. The city, Night City, is a character in and of itself because CD Projekt Red writers put little bitty bits and bobs and points all across the city to show you the nightlife, the things that are happening, random places that have nothing to do with the main story. Things like that. Add character to the city. Just make it fun first. Figure out what you find fun. But maybe with this modern day batch of developers, I'm not sure if I'd want to play what they consider fun. But what is it you want? When you keep saying, I hate this in games, I hate this feature. Well, I mean, that's a start. I hate these kinds of characters and all that. Well, people are being pretty specific. Characters like Tosh, the pretentious, foul, nonsensical, boring as all hell, preachy, virtue signaling character, along with the writing, the dialogue. Well, that's a pretty easy thing to point to. What kind of characters do you want? Oh, something interesting characters with interesting backgrounds. People have given examples over and over again. Jackie Wells, interesting character. He has a complicated backstory. I wouldn't say complicated backstory. He has goals that unfortunately do not come to pass. Even characters like Johnny Silverhand, at least the memory that he chooses to give you, unreliable narrator that he is, tells you what his motivations are, and they make sense. They make sense in the world. Things like that. A character whose ideas, ideals, and goals make sense in the world around them. Maybe start there. If you hate sarcastic characters, well, some people dislike them, but when that's the only thing you're presenting over and over and over and over. If every character is a sarcastic character, well, that doesn't really make a lot of sense. There's an entire realm of non-sarcastic characters. Do you like serious characters? We like a mix of things, depending on the genre, depending on the game. And again, there are tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, of videos going into better depth, better criticisms of one game after another with comparisons and context. To say otherwise, again, disingenuous to say the least. Do you want funny characters? Yes, but we don't want them to be so funny all the time. Unless that's the premise of the game. Do you want serious characters? Do you want characters with a lot of background? Do you want characters to be with very little? What do you want to spend a wall of time in a wall of text dialogue? What do you want? Again, if you don't know, then you're just not listening, disregarding everything that's been put out, every video that's been made, every long-form criticism that has been put out there over and over again. That's why you have to tell us what you want. Gamers do. Do you remember? I did say gamers are quite vocal. Next, he noted that even if gamers do explain what they want, it's vague. Oh, is this a case where it's not true, it's not happening, but it is? If it is happening, it's not enough. It's not the right type of explanation. Isn't that interesting? He said, quote, even when you say what you want, you're often extraordinarily vague. No, that sounds to me like a cop-out, like an excuse as to why developers just aren't listening to begin with. Because ultimately, I do believe that's more the problem than anything else. We're facing a time where gamers come out and we say what we want, we say what we like, we say what we don't like, and developers just accuse us of all sorts of bigotry and nonsense and ism and phobes over and over again, disregard our opinions, block us on social media, and just scream from the rafters of how great and wonderful this game, and it's for the modern audience, modernizing this game, bringing it up to modern times, which is becoming a bane on the existence of any video game out there. Go ahead and put in your trailer, in your announcement PR form, that your game is for the modern anything, modernized anything. And for some, that's a massive red flag that'll get them to walk away faster than you can spell modern. How about that? Where was I? I want a better game. I want better AI. Now, this is the fun one. We want better AI. Yes, better AI, but you're trying to say that no one's giving contextual examples? Oh, Believe me, when Star Wars Outlaws came out, that was the easiest and fastest way to give contextual examples as to what a better AI would be, except Star Wars Outlaws was an absolutely atrocious AI. Shooting at walls, not figuring out, not being able to find you in 2-foot tall grass because, well, the AI and the game mechanics were hot garbage. I want a better UI, but trying to claim that we don't give examples. Nobody gives examples. One of the most famous examples that I love was when Elden Ring came out. And what would Elden Ring look like if Ubisoft made it? That was a fun little meme. Again, saying that we're being too vague, extraordinarily vague, well, you're being extraordinarily disingenuous. I'll just slide the better slider from okay to great on all of those. Again, pretentious twat. If you don't say what you're talking about, it can be really vague, except people aren't vague. So many out there are being quite specific. Just the devs aren't listening. And gamers are getting tired of not being listened to. So they close their wallets nice and tight and wait for a game that appeals to their, well, what some would say prurient interests. What some would say, I just like the pretty lights. I like the pretty characters. And that gets them into the game. And then the game mechanics are interesting and fun. The story is interesting and fun. And they go, oh, well, I'm going to keep playing this game. Looking at you, Stellar Blade. It was pretty to look at. And then the game came out and it was pretty good. So what do you do? What do you go from there? Why aren't you listening to that group? A nice, fun little action RPG that came out with very, well, loosely described as RPG elements. But hey, you could build your character. You could get different options for attacks and all this other stuff, different skills, different perks and all this other stuff. So I guess it qualifies as an RPG. And hey, it was fun and very pretty to look at. Let's see. If you don't say what you're talking about, it can be really vague. Again, we're not being vague. For example, what does better for you mean in a game? How is the AI bad? Countless examples, countless videos of talking about what AI is bad and what AIs are not bad. Or not bad, that would be good. What are you talking about? Are they just running straight at you, not shooting? What do you mean? Countless videos. Again, when you say you don't like the UI, well, we're talking about Ubisoft's UI, like I said before. Elden Ring versus Ubisoft. There you go. We give examples. We're going to move on to the next one. From there, Kane noted that gamers are not monolithic. No one said we were. Have different preferences. That is correct, good sir. That's why not everyone plays the same genres. That's why not everyone went and played Armored Core. It didn't make as much money. It was still a very fun game, very well received, loads of fun. Very pretty to look at. But giant stompy robots with Souls-like mechanics of dodging and tactical shooting and whatnot did not appeal to everyone because it's a different genre. That's why not everyone, although quite a few people play Fortnite, not everyone plays Fortnite because it's not the game for everyone. People have different preferences. That's why not everyone plays Ark Survival. I could go on. He points to comments on his previous videos about people disagreeing with fast travel, different difficulty options, or encumbrance mechanics. These are things that no one is talking about as far as what gamers like and don't like. The main crux of the conversation going on right now is pretty versus aesthetically disgusting when it comes to characters. Oh, look at that. Would you look at that? Disrespectful storytelling. People can get used to UI. People can get used to encumbrance mechanics, fast travel. People can get used to and adjust to those things. But when you are putting out a game that looks hideous, when you have a character creator that accentualizes what people see as nothing more than pandering and virtue signaling to a particular demographic, and you end up removing options for other demographics, other things that gamers like, TNA, of course, then you ostracize the people who were going to buy the game anyway. That's one of the things people are talking about, quite specifically. I think, and I've said this before, if they had left in the chesticles and gluteus sliders to more maximum potential while keeping the top surgery scars and vitiligo in as well. If they'd have done them both, maybe, just maybe, the character creator wouldn't have gotten so much backlash. But here we are. He notes, because of all these different preferences, there is no possible way to make a game that will make all of you happy. This is something that we've known since the dawn of video games. You cannot make a game for everyone. Stop trying. Gamers are not asking you to make a game for everyone. When has anyone done that? I am curious. Kane then added, what's interesting to me, and this channel has made me really acknowledge it, you don't even agree on the fact that all of you are disagreeing. Again, we all disagree on some of the different mechanics, the different options, the different, fast travel. These are things we're going to disagree with until the end of existence. But that's not the main point of the discussion. We'll continue on before I give my final thoughts. In summary, Kane concluded, I get that you, the individual, want what the individual wants. Okay? But you have to realize that the individual are not very good at giving developers feedback. Bullshit. I can't stand this point of view. You don't know what you want, so because you don't know what you want, you can't articulate it enough to get through to the developers like us on our little high horse and high saddle on our little pedestals up here. That's how this man came across. That's how Kane is coming across to me, unfortunately. I've watched a few of his videos. I like some of his point of views, but this here, the idea that gamers are unable to communicate what they want, what they like, what they don't like in games without being exponentially vague is nonsense. Like I said at the beginning, countless videos, countless discussions, whether it's Reddit, YouTube, Twitter, X, all across the board. We're having these discussions. We're talking about the things we like, why we like them. We're talking about making videos. I'm sitting here making a video right now. I have live streams talking about the things that I like and don't like about video games, TV shows, and movies over and over. We've tried communicating this with the developers, the studios, over and over again. But we are met with vitriol, insults, slander over and over again. And the end result is a nice, lovely Steve Austin middle finger as we walk away with our wallets in tow. Wonder why these developers don't want to change? Because they don't want to listen to simple criticism. Criticism is turned on its head, claiming that it is harassment. It's frustrating. Gamers are tired of it. And to sit here and claim, Tim Kane, to sit here and say that we don't know what we want, well, maybe you should pull your head out of your ass and start paying attention. Start sifting through the nonsense. Tell your colleagues to do the same. Pay attention to what people are actually saying instead of just, I don't like this, because that part is never going to stop. Ultimately, gamers are just going to walk away from your studios when you stop listening. You continue to insult us, we're going to walk away, find the indie studio, find the up-and-comer who actually cares about feedback, who listens to feedback, who is able to sift through the bullshit to get to the actual constructive criticism that is brimming with context and examples of the things that we like and we don't like. Until then, sit on your pedestal, fail if you're necessary, make your videos, and we'll see where all of this goes. But let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Leave a like, leave a dislike, do all those nifty little things that YouTube is making to do. I appreciate you making it this far. I hope to see you on the next one.